Young people, there is a retirement crisis facing you right now in this country. And by the end of today's episode, we're hoping we can turn that completely around for you.
Here we are at our very first rental property.
Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris.
I'm Natalie Morris.
And this is the show where we help you build financial intelligence so you can build financial freedom. We do it through buy and hold real estate. We teach you all tricks and manner of becoming financially free. And today we're going to talk about the coming retirement crisis because it's already here. And for young people, it's particularly scary.
Yes, it is. And also what's scary about it is the amount of powerlessness that it sort of seeps into our society, because we notice that young people don't have a sense that retirement is something that's even within reach at all, and they don't have a paradigm around which to empower themselves. So Clayton was showing me research earlier that said that
I've got research
21% of young people say that they have done not a single thing. They can't even think of a single thing that they have done in order to plan or execute on any kind of retirement. Well, obviously that's not you watching or listening to this, because even seeking out a video like this is something that you have already done, right? So you're not in this population, but it affects all of us, because if people have no confidence in their own ability to be financially free, that is something that, like, it seeps through the fabric of a society where everyone is feeling powerless. That's not a good thing, right? So we want to empower you to know that it is within your reach and pass it on.
Right. So let me give you some of this data in this new report that's out, and it's really crippling. I mean, it's really sad. Like
it's discouraging.
Yeah, young people are just like, oh, I don't even retirement. That's not even something I can even contemplate.
But this is not a like young people these days don't care.
No, I feel badly for them because they think that they're going to have to work for the rest of their lives because of the crap that they've been force-fed and taught. These are the things that we're up against, and that's why you're watching this channel, because we're trying to unwind all of this marketing and advertising that has you brainwashed into thinking that the only way you can reach retirement is by watching these television commercials, follow the green line to retirement, sign up with, Fidelity or whatever, and we're going to manage your money for the rest of your life. That is not the way that you build wealth.
But I just don't want to set us up as like the two old guys from the Muppets, like young people don't know kind of thing. We are young.
We are very
First of
young.
all.
We are very young.
We're young.
I'm much younger than her. Okay, so no, I want to give you some of this data. Let me give you some of this data. So 71% of retired people right now said that they expect their savings and income to kind of keep them through retirement. I just want you to hear that for a second.
I didn't hear it.
71% of people who are currently retired, that means there's 29% of them who are currently retired that don't think their money they've saved for retirement is going to get them to death, right? These are people who already made it to the retirement age.
So what's the plan, guys?
And then further down in this list, 42% of non-retired Americans,
so people who are still working,
yes, feel the same way, that they don't think that their money is going to be able to sustain them through retirement. So 42% of people who are currently working really don't think that they're ready for retirement or will have any kind of money for retirement.
So can I give you my reaction to
Okay.
that? Okay. My reaction to that, one, is empathy, right? Because first of all, you're feeling very powerless and you don't have a plan. That's not a very empowered position to be in. But two, a lot of times it's because you've subscribed to this fallacy that you need a nest egg, that you need a pile of money and not a stream of money, right? So that means, let me just see how many eggs I can get into this basket, and then I'll use an egg a month until I die, and hopefully I die before the basket's empty, right? We don't believe that. In our channel, in our family, we teach that you need streams of cash, not piles of cash. So much of the advertising that comes to you around retirement is about the basket and the eggs. You see that in like this, I can't remember the company that has people either drawing a line or dragging a ribbon across a field.
There's some guy out in the field. Yeah, he's like in a park and he's like, how much money do you think you'll need for retirement? He gives them like a piece of chalk and they have to draw on some
Or
board.
sometimes they're walking and the line is digital, right? But the point is that the line has a finite end, that you've saved enough in order to get to this point in a bar graph, and then probably you can live your life without dying for the duration of that line. And that is not a real way to live, right? In our country, also, we don't have a lot of faith in whatever our government-sponsored retirement will be. We're not sure how that's going to go. I don't want to say even in this country, in every country, right? We live in a time of political volatility.
Right. Well,
you don't know.
Well, and we've done a whole video on the Social Security crisis. Please check out that video on the Social Security crisis right now because it's unsustainable. So many people taking out Social Security early. Therefore, it's collapsing the system. So 92% of people are taking out their Social Security benefits before the sort of definitive retirement age. So they're taking a penalty. They're losing like 25% of their retirement benefits by taking it out early. And it's causing the entire system to collapse. So
we've seen that in other countries. Look at Greece, right? They have a very low retirement age. I think they retire at like 56.
Right.
And so the government then is supporting these people from like 56 until 80 something, right? That's a long time to be supporting someone's, health and wellness and lifestyle without getting much back by way of taxes, and that caused a financial crisis for them.
Back to the survey. So can I go back to this data?
I'm going on this tangent because I think it's okay.
No, I mean this retirement crisis is real.
Don't ask me what I think.
And I
if
hope
you're not gonna listen.
This retirement crisis is real, and I hope you were paying attention to it. So back to the data. All right, the gap in confidence found in this survey, they said specifically focused on the 401k plan. 401k plans as the main source of income for retirees. There was a huge confidence gap around this idea. And I hope, if you've learned nothing else from our channel, it's that the 401k as a retirement vehicle is a joke, okay?
Well, okay.
It is. It's an absolute joke. It was never meant to be the sole source of retirement. And so many people now believe that it is the sole source of your retirement.
You're right.
It was set up to supplement pension plans in this country. The two were supposed to work together. Guess what? Who has a pension anymore? No one. Therefore, for the 401k to stand on its own as the only way that you're going to live for the rest of your life
That's not a plan.
Is not a plan.
That's not a plan. And I'm more comfortable saying that when you educate yourself about finance, you will see that the 401k is a mediocre investment vehicle at best. Tom Weavart likes to say it is your way to partner with the government to invest in the stock market, right? So
right.
I'm going to call it medium, right? But if you've got this far into a show like this, you're not aiming for medium, right? Why would you even listen to us pontificate?
No.
If you wanted a medium lifestyle, you wouldn't get here, right? You want better than that. Okay, we agree.
Another big part of this survey was healthcare, and Americans really lack enthusiasm about healthcare, and they're thinking about, well, how am I going to pay for this? The rising costs of healthcare in this country, that's also debilitating. So please check out our other video that we did on how to pay your own health insurance as an entrepreneur. I think it could totally change your way of thinking.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I want to show you some other data, if I could. Take a look at this. I did a little search. Now these are Google numbers for people searching for retirement planning. So people going to Google and trying to plan for their future. The high watermark, look at this, was in 2007. And look how much those numbers have now plummeted as a result. So for the last decade or more, people just simply aren't searching for retirement planning. They just don't even search for it because they don't think it's something attainable for them.
Or is it because they're done?
Right, I doubt that they're done. It's probably because they lack confidence. So these are Google numbers. People just aren't searching for it. It's just not something that's on young people's minds right now.
Another piece of information is that 37% of Americans say that they are not planning for retirement because they just simply don't have the wiggle room in their budget to do that. So they're living paycheck to paycheck. And then they're like, well, where do I even find the money to invest in my future? I can't do that right now, right? I'm living right to the dollar. And that's so understandable. Everything seems to be expensive these days. Rents are going up, mortgage rates are high. People just, they can't afford it, right? And I get that.
Yeah, but look, there are so many things that you're wasting money on right now in your life as a young person.
That's very judgmental.
Yes,
it
is.
That's possibly true. That's the general data point, but don't scold.
Okay.
Dad.
All right, but if you're paying for the most ridiculously expensive smartphone, and you're paying for Netflix, and you're paying for all these other things right now. You're going out every week, every night of the week, partying with your friends. That extra money, that $20, $30, $40 that you're spending could be going into a self-directed IRA account that you can be using every year to invest in real estate, performing assets. Because another data point in this survey showed that kids that are saddled with high credit card debt, student loan, and card debt, so they're buying liabilities. They're spending their money on liabilities right now, car loans, credit cards, and they're buying ridiculous things, going out, spending money at bars. So I bet you could find an additional $50 a week in savings that you could pull back from and start investing in a self-directed IRA account.
Perhaps. We want to encourage
I love it. She always gives you the benefit of the doubt.
I do, because
I just want to
don't
push
like to...
people. I want to push people out of their comfort zone, because unless you're living on the streets or you're living on mom and dad's couch right now, chances are there are areas in your life that you can cut some crap out of.
Okay, but I don't like to say you can afford it. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in life, is for someone to say you can afford that, because I don't know. Maybe you've got a sick mom that you're, helping out with. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't want to say you can afford it, but I do want to challenge you to do your balance sheet that we always harp on. There's plenty of giveaways. You can find it all over our products. Do your balance sheet and see, are you paying for non-performing liabilities? A good way to figure out what you can afford is to figure out, where's your money going? What are your current liabilities? Most people have so much of their money spoken for by liabilities, mortgage, right? Rent, car payment. All of these liabilities are attached to assets that are not cash flow assets. They're non-performing assets, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm paying for like dead weight. That's what I'm doing. That's what we teach you to turn around in the Financial Freedom Academy, is stop putting all your money into liabilities that don't perform. Start to put your money into things that cash flow. Then you will find that money, right? We want to free you of that, but we were just like that. We did our budget, we did our balance sheet. We thought, oh my gosh, all of our money is spoken for by liabilities that aren't worth anything other than the fact that we live inside of them and we drive them around and we pay off these bills, right? So we want you to change that. That's our whole goal in life.
So download the balance sheet. We've got a link below. You can check out that free balance sheet giveaway. And then also check out the other video that we just did on Social Security and the coming crisis there, because these things go hand in hand. We're in the midst of this big retirement crisis, and the other big piece of that is the interview that I just did about the Social Security crisis. So check that out. And please hit the subscribe button right here on the channel, and the like button. That's a lot for you to do. Just do one of those things. That'll make us happy. We'll see you next time, everyone.